It's update time. Hi everybody, and welcome back to Plastic Models by a Regular Dude and my May 2022 update. So, what's been going on the bench? If you have been watching this channel, you should have a pretty good idea at least that I've been working on the Dragon 1/35th scale SDKFZ 184 Elephant. Before I get up too much farther, thanks Keith Short. He supplied me with that kit, and I got it done. Here's a quick slide. It was a really fun kit. Had some struggles with some fit things going on and some warpage, but I talk about it in the videos, and all of it was pretty easily overcome. So not really that big a deal. Really nice kit, actually. I've never built an elephant before, and really enjoyed it. But again, thanks Keith. And I'll add a link at the end of the video if you want to go check that out. Another kit I just finished about 15 minutes ago, as a matter of fact, is the Academy 1/72nd scale JU87 G1 Stuka tank buster. That was another one that Keith Short gave to me. He actually gave it to me some months back to do one of my short kit reviews, where I just look at the contents of the box for my friend Keith, and he asked me if I wanted it. Said, hey, build this thing up. I said, all right. So I did, and it was a lot of fun. I actually completed it, but I haven't even posted the first video for it yet, so keep an eye out real soon for that. I'm not going to show you a picture of that one. You're going to have to wait. But another really good kit, and got through that, I don't want to say quickly, but fairly quickly. Again, it's a 1/72nd scale kit. It's a scale that I don't normally build, but this one was totally buildable, and it was a lot of fun. So that's the two kits I've been working on and gotten finished, the Elephant and the Stuka. So, for anybody who's interested, what's coming up? Well, I've got two kits lined up. I think I'm going to drift back to I was trying to build just one kit at a time and focus entirely on that, but that can be kind of a drag, and it has really curbed my productivity this year. By this time last year, 2021, I had pretty much built one kit per month. Now, it's not a race, and I'm not trying to, I don't have like a goal of doing one project per month, but I stayed busy, and I was able to get quite a bit done, and by the end of the year, I'd built one kit per month. And part of the reason for that is because I would have two kits going at a time. And the reason I would do that is I could work on one kit, and then if I got to a point where I had to let paint cure or some delicate parts glue up, or maybe waiting for something that I forgot to get, like a certain color or whatever, I would always have a backup kit, which was usually an armor kit. I usually like to do an aircraft and an armor, so that way it keeps it mixed up. So I could switch over to the other one, work on that one, then I could switch back, and I could go back and forth, and I actually got a lot of stuff done. Well, this year I've only completed two kits, I think. No, well, three, counting the Stuka, and that's not bad. But and the Elephant was pretty complex compared to some of the armor kits that I build, but still not as productive as I generally like to be. So I'm going back to the two kits at a time so I can switch off. So all that blabbing to say this: I've got two kits picked out. So let me whip the camera around here, and we'll take a look on the desktop at what two kits I'm going to be working on starting in the next couple of days. All right, here is the first one that I'm going to be working on. It is the old school Tamiya Panzer Kampfwagen 2 Ausführung F/G, 1/35 scale, Military Miniature Series number 9. Now, the reason I'm building this one, I have built this one before, twice actually. Once many years ago, back in the 80s as a matter of fact, when I was building back then, during my college years. I built this kit and really enjoyed it. So I built it again early on in my return to the hobby. Man, 2013, 14, something like that. And I did this kit as my very first Plastic Models for Beginners series on YouTube. And it was a lot of fun. I liked that video. There's quite a few people that commented on the video saying it was helpful, and it was just super basic, but it was a lot of fun. So this time, however, I'm going to do it again, and I'm not going to get into a whole lot about it because I'm going to do an intro video to this build pretty soon, but I'm doing this as a U.S. capture vehicle in North Africa. So here is a slide of one of the photos that I have that I'll be working off of. The reason I got this idea to do this kit to begin with was I got a set of decals for another vehicle I did. And, well, let me show it to you. It is Captured Panzers, German Vehicles in Allied Service. Now, I bought this several years ago, and I used it to build what it is. It's got a bunch of different vehicles here that you can build that were used in Allied service. And the one I did was this one right here, SDKFZ 251/9 House D. This one was captured and used during Operation Market Garden. So that's why I had seen a photo of this. I thought it was really cool. Looked around and discovered that this was available. And the nice thing is, I got it from Scale Hobbyist. The nice thing is it comes with a whole bunch. I think, yeah. It comes with a whole bunch of different vehicles. And not only does it come with a bunch of different vehicles, but it comes in 3 scales. So you can do it in 1/35, 1/48, and 1/72 scale. So that's kind of cool. You could actually build a vehicle 3 times if you wanted. 1/35, 1/48, yeah, and 1/72. I think that's 1/72. Anyway, you can build it in different scales. So it's really good value because there's a lot of stuff you can do. I mean, you've got all these vehicles that you can build. I don't remember how many it is, but they also do aircraft and stuff like that. So really cool. Anyway, this is the one I'm doing right here. And as you saw from the slide, that's kind of what it looks like. Now, one of the reasons I chose this one is because it is the Panzer II. It's nice and small, but there's some modifications I'm going to have to do to it. And I'll talk about those whenever I actually get going on it and I do my intro video. But there's a lot of colors going on here, and it just looks really, really cool. So this is what I'm going to do, and I think it should be really fun. I did have to get some aftermarket for it, so that'll be interesting to watch. So anyway, that's one of the kits that I've got coming up in the next few days. So the next kit I'm going to be building in conjunction with the Panzer II is this AMT Curtis P40F Warhawk. Now, I have not built a Warhawk, a P40, since the 70s, and that was one of the big 1/32 scale old Revell kits. Old. I mean, it had a jillion rivets all over it, raised panel line detail, whatever. I loved it. That thing was awesome. But this one here, obviously, is 1/48 scale, and it was actually sent to me by some guy. You may recognize the name. His name's Jim Deck. He has the YouTube channel Shutter Ace. He's also the my cohort on the Chatterbox videos that we do. But he sent me some kits, and this is one of them. I had mentioned sometime back that I was looking to build a P40 because I've seen people build some and they look really cool. And again, I haven't built one in so long. I thought, hey, I need to build one of these things. So he sent me a couple of them, actually. There's the F and there's also a J, along with some other kits. We'll get into those some other time. But this is the other kit I'm going to do. I haven't really decided on a marking option yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with this desert scheme right here. Because it looks pretty cool, and I think it'll be a lot of fun to do. So that's the other kit that I have coming up. So what else has been going on? Well, I've got some new stuff. I don't remember if I mentioned it in my last update video or not, but I'm going to mention it again. And that would be some new finishing products, specifically paint and primer. So let's talk about the paint first. So first one is the MRP acrylic lacquer paints. I finally broke down and decided to try some of this. I've heard wonderful things about it, and I've always been hesitant to try it because of the smell. It's pretty potent stuff, and I just, you know, I didn't have the ventilation for it. However, I got a few months back a paint booth extractor thing, and it has opened up new doors for my modeling, painting stuff. The extractor works really well, bought it on Amazon. But it now allows me to use this stuff, and that extractor works great, and this paint works really good. I really, really like this paint. At some point, I'll do kind of a review, kind of my thoughts on this paint, but suffice it to say, I really like it. I almost pulled the trigger and started buying a bunch of it to replace my old stuff, but I threw on the brakes, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I got this for the Stuka that I did, and it worked really good. Now, where I get my paints from, they were out of one of the colors, which was RLM 71. So I thought, what am I going to do? I thought, I know what I'll do. There's another brand of paint that's supposed to be really similar to MRP. So I thought, I'll try that. Boom. SMS, Scale Modeler Supply, Premium Acrylic Lacquer. Now, this stuff works really well also, but it is a little bit different. These two are sometimes compared, but they are a little bit different. The MRP paints are semi-gloss, which I really, really like. I love semi-gloss paints because it helps with weathering, and I prefer my aircraft to be finished in a semi-gloss overall finish when I'm done, for reasons. This is flat, and it is a little bit more opaque than the MRP. The MRP is really, you build it up in layers, so you have a lot of control on how you make it look. Like if you're into black basing or panel line shading or whatever, this is really good because you can really control your paint and how the underlying surface shows through. This is a little bit more opaque. Not totally opaque. It's not like using, say, Vallejo Model Air or something like that. You still have that control, but This is a little bit more opaque. You don't have to build it up as much to get the same effect. And I think, I'm not sure. This is a 30 milliliter bottle, and I'm not sure if this one is as well. It might be. It's just this one's bigger around. But this is a little bit cheaper, and you don't have to use as much to get the same opacity. So this might be a little more cost effective, maybe. I don't know. But they both work really good. I don't know how it's going to pan out, but I could see myself using this stuff here, the MRP, for aircraft because of the semi-gloss finish, and this for like armor because it's flat. But I'm gonna experiment. That's why I've only got just one bottle of this and just like 7 bottles of this, depending on what I'm building. So work with it, see what comes out. But it's really, really good paint. I really like it. The next thing I got new to the bench is Mr. Finishing Surfacer 1500 black. Got some gray on the way. Using this for primer. And this stuff, you know, I really liked Badger Style Res till I started having problems with it, acting weird. You know, heard stories of bad batches of the stuff, and I don't know, but I was not having a good time with it, and it is so hard to clean out of the airbrush. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that's like, oh yeah, it just only takes me 15 seconds to clean out my airbrush and it's just easy, blah blah. Well, that's great, but I didn't have that kind of luck. This stuff, the finish on it is just splendid, super smooth, goes on really easily, and I cut it with Mr. Color Leveling Thinner. It's really the only lacquer thinner I have right now, but this stuff works really good. And I've had this bottle for probably 6 years maybe. I never used it because once I got it and I opened it up, I thought there's no way I can spray this stuff in my house because I will kill everybody, and I don't want to do that. But with the new extractor, it's no longer an issue. So I cut this, I think I did 50-50, and oh man, this stuff sprays so nicely. And I'm sure this helps with the leveling to give it really smooth surface. So I wanted to try one, so I tried the black first. I like it enough that I ordered the gray, so I will be using that stuff. That'll probably be the only primer I use because it just works really, really good. So that's all that new stuff. Now, I'd also like to send out a thanks, and I may have mentioned this in my last update video, not sure. I think I mentioned it somewhere, but I like to give credit where credit's due. My friend Lloyd Morant from the Channel Islands, and I'm not talking the ones off California, sent me some blades and some scalpel blades and handles. Now, Keith Short, my friend I mentioned earlier, he actually gave me some scalpel blades in the past, and they're this same type, but they're really small, and they work really good for certain things, but because of their size, I had a little bit of a hard time using them sometimes, but they do have their uses. Same with these. These are larger, and man, these things are super sharp. So Lloyd and Keith, thanks for hooking me up with scalpel blades. I didn't know what I was missing because these really come in handy. Because normally I use the good old X-Acto blade. I like to use the, I think they're titanium coated or something blades, but they last a long time. They're really good. And for some things, this is what I rely on. But it's nice to have more tools in the toolbox. And this is one of those tools that works really well. Man, they're super sharp, and they're really good. I found that they're really good for getting rid of ejector pin marks, especially in curved spots, like say the inside of a curved hatch or aircraft fuselage or something. Because of the curve, you just scrape that baby and it maintains the curvature, and you don't have to try and get in there with a little sander or anything like that. So they work really good, And so guys, I really appreciate you sending them to me. Well, Keith for giving them to me in person, and then Lloyd for sending these all the way from the Channel Islands. So thanks guys, and yeah, these work really well. Digging it. New tool in the toolbox. So there you go. I think that's pretty much it for this update. So as I said before, keep an eye out for the Stuka series. I'll be posting that up in the next couple of days, the first installment of that. And then I will be doing an intro video also over the next week or two for the Panzer Kampfwagen II US Capture and the P40 F by AMT. So keep an eye peeled for those. I think those are going to be some fun kits. I've never built an AMT aircraft kit. The only AMT kits I ever built was like big rigs back in the 70s when the whole, you know, White Lion Fever thing was a big deal. You know, you got your Smokey and the Bandit and all those trucker movies back in the day. So I built one of those big rigs in junior high, 1977-ish, 76. I don't even remember if they were good kits or not. Didn't care back then. I just glued them together. So yeah, AMT P40. That'll be a lot of fun. So I think that's it. Keep an eye on the channel for those updates to come up and for the Stuka series to start. Also keep an eye out for some talk on the MRP and SMS paints. Maybe some demonstrations, some comparisons maybe. I don't know. We'll see. And I know I keep saying this, but now that it's summer, slower at my job somewhat. So maybe I can start doing, I can get a live stream going at some point. Cross your fingers, people. I mean, some of you don't want to see my mug blabbing while I'm doing stuff, but I really want to give it a shot. May do a question and answer thing, but I'll give advance notice so everyone can, you know what's going on. So anyway, that's it. That is the May 2022 update for Plastic Models by a Regular Dude. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you all later.